Hello, thank you for tuning in tonight. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Water, Fire Next Time. Probably noticed by my title, it says they want blacks to be the new farm hands and fruit pickers. And when you still really stop and look at what they're doing and dissect this, what did the Trump regime do first? They tried to ruin black people economically. They tried to cut off DEI, affirmative action, anything that they thought was that was beneficial to blacks. Even Job Corps, they're going to try to get. They may try to get the Job Corps youth to go and work on the farms once the Latinos are gone, which they're not going to have them gone because Trump's even backtracking on that. But let's stop and we'll get to Latinos later. But let's get to black people. Okay, if all the Latinos were gone, they thought that DEI and affirmative action was very beneficial to black people, and that was the only reason that white people was hiring black people because they were forced to by affirmative action and DEI. Not knowing that those programs benefited black people very little, and they was actually firing their wives and girlfriends and white women because they benefited the most from those programs. So they really just didn't know what they were doing. And white people, see, they have to remember, this is not 1925. This is 2025. White people are not firing black people for the reason because they thought that they had to. White people weren't hiring black people because of that. They were just hiring them. So the Trump regime just didn't know what they were doing. But they thought their racist thoughts was gonna filter down to everyone else. But it just didn't work that way. See, they figure we don't have good jobs. We're gonna need jobs really bad. We're suffering right now, so we're gonna go and work the farms. It didn't happen. And you know what Trump's saying today? They may have to leave the farm workers alone and let them stay in the country. This man is just going so back and forth in his policy. He just don't know what he's doing. Yeah, it didn't work out for us the way he thought it was gonna work. Black people not going picking no fruits and for lower than minimum wage, and black people not going to do that. The people who were fired the most was white women. Maybe get them to go out there to do it. But black people are not going to do it. That's why he had to call for, change his policy towards the farm workers. Because it was ruining the farms. They were crying. And most of the farms are owned, the white farms are owned by MAGA people. They were crying about their farms. So he had to leave the farm workers alone. So they couldn't hurt us like they thought that they would. Or they thought that they in DEI and affirmative action, all the white people just let the black people go and we be suffering right now. Like I said, they didn't know that we wouldn't benefit from that anyway. Many of those stores that said they were ending DEI programs like Walmart, they instituted their own program. They they ended the DEI to not be punished by the Trump regime. So not much has changed for black people, but they thought that it would. We're gonna go like they want to put us back in semi-slavery. You see, what happened was those were the type of the jobs that the migrants are doing. Those were the type of jobs that they meant for black people to do. See, when black people left slavery, even though we were out of slavery for a while, black people were still doing the same type of jobs that they were doing in slavery. They're just getting paid a little bit of money for it. But then black people started progressing. developing themselves economically. That's why they started lynching them and burning down their business because it wasn't meant for. See, economic progress in this nation really wasn't meant for black people. We did it in spite of because they meant for us to stay on those low level jobs for the men to work on farms and do low level jobs, and for the women to take care of their houses, be domestic workers like they were in slavery. Sharecropping, that was just almost a semi form of slavery. You just working for what little you got. Because when it came, remember how people used to say they didn't let black people take the crops to market? The reason being was those black people didn't own the farm. The farm owner, the landowner, had to take it to market. Most of those black people were sharecroppers. They go to the store and get supplies and food off of the landowner's account. Then by the time that it was time the crops was in, time for the black person to get paid. Oh well, you borrowed more than I was going to pay you, so they really didn't see much cash. It was like semi-slavery, not much better, and that's what they're trying to get us back into: working the land. The black women be domestic workers, but no one's going for that. They're in for a rude awakening, and white people are not responding the way that they thought that they would. They thought there would be mass black firings about now. They thought that the Job Corps workers would be out there on the farms. But just as they miscalculated everything else, they miscalculated this. They are the dumbest leaders that I've ever seen. How this country is going to make it with them, I don't know. I just hope it's strong enough to withstand them and stand in spite of them. But you can count the friendship over, which I could care less about anyway. Now that they're having problems, you see Africa is rising. See, for years, they put their leaders in place. See, they weren't concerned. You notice they were forcing democracy all around the world, except for Africa and what they call the Middle East. They were actually putting monarchies and dictators in those places. And that's how we had the problem with Iran. Iran was a democracy. And show you how the hypocrisy of this nation. I know I'm on a different subject right now, but it just came up. The, um, the hypocrisy of this nation. When British Petroleum, the BP stations you see now, that's British Petroleum. They were just about ruling Iran's oil. Iran said no longer we're going to nationalize our oil, and we sell it ourselves, mine and sell it ourselves. They went over there and attacked the leader, threw him in jail where he spent the rest of his life, and put a dictator in. The United States and the British did that. The ones always yelling about democracy, they jailed the democratically elected leader and put a dictator in place, who was the Shah of Iran. The people ran the Shah of power and took those American hostages, were United States hostages. Remember the hostage crisis? That's what that was about. So never get and just Africa is running the French out now and doing the same thing. So you can look for them and try to kill. Well, they've tried, like in Burkina Faso, they tried to kill Ibrahim Traore. I think this is the 19th time. They've been killing the African leaders all the time in the United States, France, and Britain. And they need to return the favor. This country has grown so weak now under Trump until Israel went and bombed Iran while they was in negotiations with the Trump regime. How disrespectful. And then it shows how pitiful it is. Trump went and bombed them on behalf of Israel. The people who disrespected him. But getting back to the subject, the we have to be careful because I think they want us to make us those new farmhands. That's what it's looking like. They want they thought we would be fired off of jobs after they stopped affirmative action. They stopped DEI. We didn't realize that black people weren't benefiting from those. And they thought white people didn't respond the way they thought they would. They thought white people just they thought white people was hiring black people because of DEI and affirmative action, but they weren't. They were just hiring black people. They they were counting on white racism, which didn't come. I have to give it to white people this time. So far, they didn't respond the way that the Trump regime thought that they would. They hired black people because they were hiring them, not because of DEI or affirmative action. So that's why it didn't play out the way they thought it would. They thought we all get fired, be suffering, and we need the pennies from those farm jobs. But it's not working that way. People are not thinking the way thinking in 2025 the way they did in 1925. White people and black people have interacted with each other more. You go to the average black family reunion, you see white people there. You go to the white family reunion, you see black people there. Not all of them, but many of them. So it's not like it used to be. But they were counting on it to be that way, but it wasn't. And the people just didn't respond the way that they thought they would. They actually thought the only reason black people was being hired on jobs was because of affirmative action and DEI. Matter of fact, I never heard of DEI until after the election. And most people haven't. Most people hadn't. But I'm really impressed by the way that people actually responded. Excuse me. People didn't respond in the racist way that the Trump regime thought that they would. They miscalculated this just like they miscalculated just about everything. And you have many people just tired of all of this, Many white people, they just tired of it. You have many white people who just want to see everyone prosper, and not just them. They want to see everyone prosper. But the Trump regime wasn't counting on that. I remember Martin Luther King said that there are many white people who want to see us free as bad as we want to be free. And it's too late because white people and black people have interacted with each other more. If you remember, that's why they started the woke program. Who would tell somebody that don't be woke, be sleep? That sounds crazy, don't it? People who don't want you woke is somebody who's trying to sneak something by you, something they don't want you to see. See, during the George Floyd situation and Black Lives Matter, did you know that there were more white people protesting in Black Lives Matter than black people? When I drove in St. Louis, I told you this before. You drive down Kingsway Highway or Grand Boulevard. When you're in the black area, you saw some Black Lives Matter signs here or there. But when you got in the white area, you saw Black Lives Matter sign in just about every yard. I was recording one event downtown St. Louis. I think it was with the Stockley murder. It was that what year was this? Was this 2021, 2020? But I was it was after George Floyd. I know there was about 600 people there. I found out later. But I was in front of the audience with my camera at the stage. Everyone on the stage were black. When I turned around and filmed the audience, I couldn't find a black person. All of the Black Lives Matter protesters, I finally found a couple, but out of about 600 people, once you got away from the stage, I finally found a couple. But out of that many people, and most of the protesters were white. See, black people actually stopped protesting after Ferguson because they was out there for about 3 or 4 months straight every night. Armored vehicles, they didn't care. National Guards and rifles didn't scare them none. Those were some brave protesters. When they were looting, the protest, the police wouldn't stop them. You know how the looting started? The protesters left the line and they stopped the looting. See, protesters don't like looting or violence because it takes away from what they're trying to project. It takes away from their cause. There haven't been any violent protests. There may have been some people came and looted and did some things, but the protesters weren't violent. They didn't start fighting and looting. Those were other people. But what happened was, I said just to say this when I said about the woke program. They saw how many black people were participating with white people who were participating with black people, and they didn't like that. Even on January 6th, many of the people were turned in by their own children. There was one, I told you before, there was this one white woman who was all bloody. And her daughter put up a picture on social media with her face all bloody that she had gotten from some guy. I had seen it before her daughter even put it up. And said, and her daughter wrote, and she told me not to go to a Black Lives Matter protest because it might get violent. And she showed her mother's bloody picture from January 6th. So things are not going the way they thought it would, because for it to go the way they thought it would, they had to depend on white racism. There's a lot of white racism, but there's a lot of white people who aren't. So it's not playing out like they thought it would. They thought that the white people were only hiring you because of DEI, and that they would start firing you. DEI and affirmative action, and they would start firing you. Now they're going to cancel some programs that they can control, like they did with the Job Corps. I can tell you right now, them black kids not going picking no apples and peaches. Be out there all day for that little bit of money. You can hardly get them to work in the air conditioning place. You know they're not going out there picking in that hot sun, picking apples and fruit and for that little bit of money. But that's what they're thinking. Their thinking is so far off until they hadn't realized that things are not like it was back in the 50s, 30s, 40s, the 20s. A lot of people are not going for that. Many black people wasn't hired for the reason that they thought we was hired for. So they want to try to think they're going to throw us on the farms when they get the Latinos gone. And they had to change that with the Latinos today. With the farms. Trump going to let them stay on the farms. He doesn't know what he wants to do. He changed by the day. Now he's angry with Israel because they broke the ceasefire. Oh, he talking bad about Israel today. He feel like they disrespected. Well, they disrespected him when they went and bombed those people while they were in the middle of negotiations. And then they say Iran, because matter of fact, they had another after they bombed, Israel bombed Iran. The United States wanted them to come to the next negotiation, but Iran wouldn't come. Why would someone come when your lackey bombed them while we were supposed to be negotiating? Obama had a nuclear agreement with Iran, which as far as they could tell, Iran was abiding by it. Trump came in and wanted to throw out everything that had Obama's name on it. You don't come in and just throw out the agreement. You go and renegotiate it. But he does everything backwards, even with the tariff. Some of the people coming in want to kiss his ass, kiss his butt. They wasn't kissing nothing. What happened is if you and someone already have an agreement, they go and just change the agreement without talking to you. Of course you're gonna want to come and talk to them. Except for China, he did it backwards. He should impose the tariffs if negotiations didn't work. He wanted to instead of negotiate and perhaps have the tariff, he wanted tariff and then negotiate, which a lot of people weren't going for. And you better buy what you can because these shelves are already getting pretty bare in many stores, and it's going to get bare. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Because today I couldn't find a lot of stuff I used to find easily. You have to go to different stores to find it. Look, but I mean that. But on my main topic, we don't have to fall for every gimmick that they pull, and I think black people have done pretty well about the way we're handling things. We're not jumping and reacting to every little thing that they do. We're not. I heard someone say, black people don't have time to be putting boots on the ground. Yes, we do. We don't have to stop living because of what's going on. We can take care of business and put boots on the ground. We don't have to sit over in the corner talking about woe is me. No, we can keep living and doing just what we're doing, not reacting to every little thing they do. We don't even have much to say about it, even though we do have to plot a strategy. We can't sit and do nothing. And we have to let people know that they may come after you with these farm jobs. Because Trump, he may go against the farm workers again tomorrow. You never know about him. You never know. He will agree to something today. Tomorrow, he throw it out. But, so that's why we really can't depend on it. And we really can't depend on others just helping us. We have to help ourselves. And, maybe they haven't fired black people so far, but that don't mean it may not be coming. I doubt it, but I could be wrong. We have to stand our ground with these people want to run up in our neighborhoods. When they run in, we need to run them out. Because they wouldn't allow Nazis to come up through a Jewish neighborhood. They wouldn't allow that. Or Klansmen. Those are terrorists for black people. You say you're against terrorism, you fight terrorism on all levels. Well, we can fight it too if they're on all levels they come up in our neighborhood. And be careful, because there's no immigrants in our neighborhood. They thought they were doing something smart. We don't want to go around black people. Now we're glad you didn't, because ICE don't have no business coming up in our neighborhoods. So if a white man with some mask in an unmarked van come after your people, you better deal with them. Now if it turn out to be ICE, we just have to say oops. Because on no white men, when you look at the history of that, white men in masks and hoods, they have no business coming up in a black neighborhood because they're going to grab some black folks. If they come to grab some black folks, you better make sure they grab hold of something else that's a little hot. Now, I'm not going to stand there and watch them grab some black folks, even if I know it's ICE. But they don't have no business here. And our leaders need to let them know that. We don't have any immigrants up in here. Go to Fairmont City. I'll be coming here. So when they come here, we need to meet them. I am. I know people may get angry for me for saying this, but I don't have time to play. I'm not going to sugarcoat and make things sweet and nice. We don't need to let these people come up in our neighborhood snatching people because there's no one up in here to snatch. Because they say there have been some people posing as ICE agent, raped a woman, robbing people. But I don't care if you're ICE, you're not coming up in here with that. We don't need to. We don't need to let them come up here, even if we know they're ICE. They have no business here. ICE is not supposed to be able to arrest American citizens. These are American citizens up in here. But they can go to those Arab stores if they want to. Check them out. But you don't have no business bothering any black people. Yeah, go to the Arab stores if you want to come up here after somebody. We'll watch that. Yeah, go there, but you have no business grabbing black people. And I covered a few protest marches, which I commend them for it. I commend us also for leaving it alone. Because they're just looking for a reason to snatch some of us and send us off to Sudan somewhere. Because they know that, they really can't just come after us. Because of the way we came here, what can they do? But knowing this administration, they're breaking every other law. They may try to break that law also. Like I told you, I'll go give me $1 million in reparations and give it all of us one who want to go. You say go back to Africa, put your money where your mouth is. I'll put $1 million on my GoFundMe. I'll leave. It's a lot of nations who's want to take us, let us come in with $1 million in our pockets. A lot of them. But if for those who want to stay, fine. Those who don't want to leave, fine. Those who want to stay, fine. Everyone has to make up their own minds. I can't tell anyone what to do, and I wouldn't even try. Because the way you want to do things may not be the same way that I want to do it. Many feel that they have stakes in this nation, and they just don't want to walk off and leave it. And if that's the way they feel, that's fine too. And I can see their point, because in a way I have that in me. I'm not just going to stay for just anything. I'm sure most all of us have that. Something that anything that you put something into, and you're familiar with, you don't want to just walk off and leave it. That's why you see, even in relationship, man and a woman, a lot of times the marriage been over, but they just hate to walk off and leave something that they put a lot into. And that's the same way it is here in this nation. Many black people hate to walk off and leave what they put a lot into, and then go over to somewhere that they don't know and maybe get mistreated over there. Because the Africans come over here, they don't want to deal with us either. They rather deal with white people, and we don't want to go over there. Many of us gonna be better trained than them, and we get the best jobs, and then they get angry. I mean, where we gonna run to? So we have to take all of that into consideration. Where we gonna run to? They may get angry. Oh yeah, those people coming over here from America. Well, they call them foreigners over there. That's what they call black people from the United States over there. And at least I know in Ghana they call them foreigners. The foreigners coming over here, taking all of our good jobs, then they get angry with us, and now here's a whole new problem. Well, at least over here, we know where to go and what to do about the problems. But you get over there, foreign land. See, I'm not saying don't go. But I'm just saying we have to take all of that into consideration. Because it would be terrible for people to get after us in that land. I mean, where you going to run to? That's a long way to swim. We'll be down in the deep like many of our ancestors were. But getting back to this, we don't want to be tricked or tricked into trying to put us back in semi-slavery, have us work farms, our women become domestic, because those are the type of jobs they wanted us to have in the first place. They still want us to work those jobs that we were working in slavery for a little bit of money. They never meant for us to prosper economically. As I said, that's why they ruined most of our economic centers. But that's different now. We need to try to build. We can build now. They're not coming after us like they used to. This is 2025, not 1925. Because I know many people I would talk to on social media. As soon as you start talking about black economics, they want to bring up Tulsa. Come on, that was over 100, that was that 104 years ago. You're going to stop doing everything because they're not going to try anymore because of something bad happened. You got to keep going. You get some bad weed, some bad drugs. They didn't stop. They went and got some more, didn't they? Just had that same mindset when it come to business. When it's something you value, you don't give up because something went bad. We're going to stop because of something that happened over 100 years ago. So we better not build nothing. They're going to burn it down. I doubt if that's going to happen in 2025. I doubt it very much. If it does, it would sure will shock me and surprise me. Oh, there may be some groups. Don't get me wrong to try something. But it won't be the government. See, the government was behind it last time. So they even allowed the sheriff department to bomb Tulsa, Black Wall Street in Tulsa. They dropped dynamite from the air, from their planes. But I doubt that happened. Now, there may be some groups that tried, but I don't know. I say government. I don't know about Trump's government. He may send someone. If they send someone, we better be ready for them. So get your concealed carry cards while you can, because they may try to stop that. Buy all the hardware you can while you can. They may try to stop that. We're not trying to harm anyone. We never have. As a people, we're some of the best people on earth. As a people, I'm not talking about some individual who can Ray robbing, killing, stealing. I'm not talking about all that. Let's stop letting our minds go to the worst of us every time we mention ourselves. As a people, we don't harm anyone. We've been the moral conscience of this nation. Everyone else got their rights through us. We're kind to everyone else. As a people, our problem is with each other. As a people, we need to be as kind to each other as we are to other people because we don't treat each other very well. We treat everyone else better. Because we, as I said on the other broadcast, and I have to keep reiterating some things, we came under that same ideology, racist ideology that they did. We've been hearing the same propaganda that they've been hearing. So we came with a lot of their feelings about ourselves. And we have to shake it off. I still have stuff to shake off. We all do. We say that anytime something happens like on social media, they talk, when it's white people, they talk about the fight. When it's black people, they talk about the race. But black people do too. We talk about the race too. We can't do nothing. We can't do nothing right. We can't. Why are you putting race on it too? Why everybody fight? The difference between everybody else and us, everybody don't post that mess like we do. Now it's not all us. Some is AI. They admit it. Some of them not. Some of those fights not even made in this nation. As I told you the other night, how people hit somebody in the face 20, 30 times, their face not swelled up, no blood, no nothing. Most of the time, their hands slapping each other when they fight. You have to stop destroying our ethnic image because everyone has an ethnic image, and ours is not very good. And those people posting that AI stuff for white folks to see, I mean, we don't need a whole lot of help in destroying our ethnic image because we've done enough ourselves. And because I used to wonder, why come I see all these fights on social media, but I've never seen none of that in real life myself. I haven't seen it, not once. I haven't seen women up in the stores fighting. I've rarely seen any arguments. But on social media, it make it look like that's all we do. And we don't need to buy into that. Because we got some I know we saying something about the Latinos. Many people laughing at them. They voted for Trump. They brought this on themselves. I'm not thinking about them right now. I'm not thinking about no people of color. I'm thinking about us right now. And we're gonna have some difficult times ahead, and we have to look forward to it. So I'm no. Let me take that back. I said not look forward to it, but we have to prepare for it. Look forward to it, make it seem like we're gonna be enjoying it. It may not come like that, but we have to be aware and not react to every little thing they throw at us. We're going to have to be smart, intelligent in our response and what we do, like we've been in the past. We've been intelligent with our response in the past, but we're going to have to be extra vigilant this time around because everything they're doing, it's coming to us soon, but it's not happening like they thought it would. They thought all the Latinos would be gone by now, when actually the Trump regime has deported less people than Biden or Obama. I told you about what they had another guy to tell me again when we were telling him, well, black people don't treat black people right. He's a black conservative. Black people own slaves. So what? I'm gonna mention this again. What people you know who have went through any type of atrocities, genocide, or any type of mistreatment with some of their own people didn't collaborate and participate in it? That has happened with all people. Why do we have to be perfect or we deserve anything somebody do to us? We're the only ones who have to cross every T, dot every I, or we failed. We're not perfect, so why should we be expected to be perfect or we deserve? That's what people like Candace Owens, Lee Elder. Excuse me. I'm not used to talking a lot, so I get a little dry throat. That's how they get their talking points. They bring up black faults like we're not supposed to have any. Everyone else can, but we can't. We have to do everything perfect, or we deserve whatever comes our way. I told you about what happened in Germany. Do you hear the Jews when people bring up the Holocaust, saying that Jews participated in the Holocaust? Because there were Jewish Nazis, but they don't bring that up to make the Holocaust sound good because it wasn't good. And I don't blame them for not bringing that up. We need to stop bringing that up about black people owning slaves. There was close to there was 280 to 300,000 Jews in the Nazi army. They were helping to kill their people. But they don't bring that up, and I don't blame them. You don't make excuses for those who harmed your people because some of your people did something bad to your people. Don't give those people a way out. Say, I never hear white people defending themselves. I never hear them pleading their cause because they got some of us who gonna always do it for them. See, I wish I could be with Candace Owens the other debate them. I tell you why. They let them sit there and just rattle off and no one stopped them. Like they're mesmerized by them. See, because they come on my platform, they can't overtalk me. I shut that down. When I'm talking, you be quiet. I listen to what you got to say, you listen to what I say. They let them rattle on and on to rip our people apart because of some faults we got. Like we don't supposed to have any. Because see, when they come after us, we don't need those kind of people around. We need to shut them down and do something to them because we don't have time to play anymore. They're trying to knock us back 100 years or more. Because if it happened like they want to, but it's not working out, like nothing else they've done worked out. They're trying to knock us back 100 years or more. That's what they're trying to do. Put us back in these servitude jobs. And we don't need that. That's why my title says what it does. They want us as the farm hands. You think they're not going to go after those Job Corps youths? Many of them were homeless. That's why something else needs to be put in place for them. See, everything they knock out for us, we control governments and and we control cities now. We don't have to let those our people just see. There was a time like back in the 1920s or so, we didn't control much. We needed them for our kids, you know. If like those youth that's been put out of Job Corps, we need to find something else for them. Those homeless kids, let's try to find a way to get them some shelter, so they won't be used like the Trump regime want to use them. This is up to us. We're gonna have to take care of our own this time. And to be honest with you, there are many other people who help us out. Because many times in these, like I mentioned, where they're on social media, we don't pay them no attention. They're some idiots. They're some MAGA idiots laughing at black people because of the natural disaster, the tornado that happened in St. Louis. Don't pay them folks no. Don't even respond to them. Let them troll, say all the mean stuff they want to say. I used to respond to them. I don't respond to them no more. Let's just make them look silly. You see some Klansmen marching, point at them and laugh. Have your rifles on you too, but point at them and laugh. Cause see, they're not gonna come where they see other people with rifles anyway. But I point at them and laugh. See, they're there to intimidate. They haven't realized that they don't intimidate anyone anymore. But like I was saying, there would be other people who would help out with these youths also more than just black people. Because see there's white kids in Job Corps too. Just that we only see the black kids because we're in a black area. There's white kids. Because see most things that's designed, it's not designed for us. We just came in on it. The Job Corps, white, black, we got a lot of white kids in that too. So it wasn't designed just for us. Because nothing is made for just us to benefit. Like they didn't know that with affirmative action, most people that was losing jobs was white females, and black people was gaining very little from affirmative action. We actually gained through our hard work. They don't want to admit that though. The DEI, 78% of it went to white females. Black people got maybe 1% or less. Asians was getting more out of it than us when they break it down. But how can you say a person was hired because of DEI? It's because all DEI does is says that you give other people a chance. It don't mean they hired you because you was a certain race. And maybe if they could get some policemen, they may need some DEI policemen because I haven't seen what black. It's very rare for a black policeman to shoot somebody and say, I thought he had a gun. Shoot somebody while they handcuffs, beat them while they handcuffs. There may be some doing it, but all the ones I've been seeing on the news haven't been black cops, been white cops. So were they DEI hired? Maybe they need some DEI hires if that's the way the white cops are gonna the way the white cops are gonna perform. But all they're saying is just give other people a chance. But they thought we were benefiting a lot from it. And they thought when they counseled, they was gonna put us in a bad situation, but it didn't. We went just about unscathed. So everything they're doing so far hasn't harmed us any, and I hope it stay that way. And we have to really be careful on how we respond to things. That's our biggest issue. They want us out there in the streets. They want us to respond to things in a in a belligerent manner, get angry. Because I tell you why I know that. Most of the time when a cop stop a black man, he start putting his hands all over him, but he don't do that with other people. They take training. Black men don't like someone putting their hands all over them. They teach those. This was a white cop told me, a white cop friend of mine. They teach them in training to grab the black guys because they know the black guys don't like it. That these people go to training against us. The Arabs, the Arab stores. Not trying to get off the subject, but I have to mention this what I'm thinking about. You notice how the Arab stores, the kind of names they have? King, Crown, Queen, Imperial, Royal. You know why? Those Arabs go through classes before they come here. They say that black people like royal sounding names. So that's why they name all of their stores. Diamond. Anything that has to do with royalty. You just see for yourself. You see what their stores are named. The ones that's not named after them. But most of their stores, like down here on 25th Street, where they named. Well, I know people watching from different areas, but where I'm at, the people here know what I'm talking about. Crown Mart, Crown Stores, King Market, even the beauty supply shops. They have those type of names. Queen's Beauty Supply, King's Beauty Supply. They go to class on us to know how to handle us. And it works. So we have to remember, we have to go to class. And we have to start showing. We having town hall meetings about everything else. We need a meeting to talk to our people and talk to them on a strategy on how to respond to this stuff so we don't get them hotheads out there inflaming the situation. But when they do come around here, we need some level-headed thinking. And we have town hall meetings for everything else. We need a town hall meeting on this, on what's happening around us. We need a meeting on that because they're coming after us sooner or later. They're already after us. We just haven't responded to it, and I hope we don't. Like I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. In about a minute. I hope my commercial play this time. I'll be back in about a minute. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right.
What's good, everybody? My name is Brandon Hunter, also known as OG Brando, and I am the founding formulator for the Origin of Greatness. In front of me, I have my products, the OG Hair Sheen, which is all-around great moisturizer, and then I have my hemp seed butter, which is all-around great moisturizer for the skin as well. If you have any questions about either of my products, please, you can find me at the Origin of Greatness on Instagram, the OG LLC on Facebook, and at our website at theog.net. And also be on the lookout for the OG in collab in connection with Tierra Speaks. You might just catch us, with some. We got a little collab going on. She got her thing with her self-care box, and so we got some things coming. But greatness is definitely on the way. Onward and upward.
Okay, I'm back. Look, on another thought. If some people do come up in here trying to cause problems, let's not jump the gun. If they don't try to get physical, let's not get physical. But we're not going to stand there and let someone hurt us or any of our people. Because we have to set it off, we just have to set it off. But let's try not to, if we can. If let's one way to make people look stupid let's say a Klansman want to come up in here. They want to march. Let them. Just don't nobody show up. Let the streets be clear. It's clear the path. Don't nobody. They don't see anyone out there. Make them look stupid. That's one theory. The other theory is to have your stuff too. I like the first theory better. They're doing it for attention. Let them march, and there's no one in sight. Watch how stupid they feel. If we can do it that way, and if we can do it that way, that's just a thought. Because they're trying to provoke us. They're trying their best to provoke us. And no, we don't need that. Right now, we have to be vigilant. We have to stay under the radar right now as much as we can. We don't need to be on the radar. Let's try to stay under the radar. Don't give them a reason to bother us. I'm sorry, Latinos, we just can't be there for you. We just can't do it. At least most of the people I know say they just can't do it. We fought related with the civil rights movement. You weren't there. Every movement we had white people there. Some of you may have showed up, but when this area there's not a lot of Latinos, so it may be a few, but I lived among you in Los Angeles. You hated our guts. You kept up fights with black people. The MS-13 leader was in prison, and he told the Latinos, the Mexicans, to move the black people out of anywhere near Latino areas, and you went to war with black people. The Bloods and the Crips had to start fighting each other and start fighting you. You haven't helped in any of our causes, but you want us to help in yours. See, we did help you, though. We helped you on November the 5th. When we cast our ballots, black people voted overwhelmingly for Kamala Harris. You talked about her like a dog. All of you that, not most of you, all of you that I've seen get on there and voted for Trump. You talked about Harris. And the thing about it, they talk about how much they hate her, but no one can really say why. To be honest with you, Kamala Harris, when she ran, she had more qualifications than Barack Obama. She had been a prosecutor, a senator, a vice president. Barack Obama was a state senator in Illinois. He didn't even finish out his Senate term. He was elected to the Senate and then ran for president and hadn't even finished out his Senate term before he became president. Everyone who talked against Kamala Harris, it was just a personal hate they had for her. Because it sure wasn't because she wasn't qualified. We voted black. One out of 8 out of every 10 black men voted for Kamala Harris. 9 out of every 10 black women voted for Kamala Harris. So that put our voting percentage somewhere around 89-90%, which is normal. But they talk like black men was just abandoning ship, and that wasn't true. I tell you what the problem was. You had a lot of black men voting for the first time, those young guys who like all of Trump's antics. They like the chaos he brings, because he He think kind of like some hood dude. You have a lot of people who just like chaos. Because each one I talk to, who voted for Trump, the young guys, they like it was some type of game or something. Like Trump was Scarface or somebody. Scarface is the number one movie of all time among black males. But they're gonna find out what some black guy grew up in the hood got in common and think he vote for somebody like Trump. Now he's trying to put you back on out in the fields, pick oranges and pick peaches and apples, when you should be in a factory or in trade school. And you voted for something like that, you got to think more broader. You have to look at who you think will help your people more, not just you. Because whatever happened to your people, sooner or later gonna fall on you. There's no difference in the Democrats and Republicans. Now, do you see the difference? You ever seen Democrats do something like this? You think Democrats would have stopped all these programs? They're the ones who started them. But you say there's no difference. Only an idiot talks like that. And those are the type who will vote for Trump. Them, I don't even try to talk to them anymore. It doesn't. All you're gonna do is argue with them. It's not gonna do any good. So I don't even have time to bring them on anymore. I think about bringing a Trumpite or a Maganite on to talk, but it's a waste of time. All they're gonna want to do is argue. Any fact you bring is gonna go in one ear and out the other, and they're gonna bring some stupid, superficial stuff about Trump. And they're gonna lie. So I see no need to even sit trying to talk and debate them, because we got some serious stuff ahead that's going on, and I don't have time to sit around and try to debate with some idiot. And because I know you're an idiot because you voted for Trump. Because only an idiot vote against the interests of their own people. There are many people. Don't you know you have many black people who are doing quite well. Some even wealthy. They won't vote for Trump. Then you had a few idiots like Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent betrayed black people. Snoop Dogg, last time he talked against Trump so bad, him and Trump was going at it. This time he was going to vote for Trump because he was trying to get in on that cryptocurrency. So he sold us out. 50 Cent wanted that land. He wanted to open the studio up like Tyler Perry down in Louisiana. He sold us out. Yet they're supposed to be the tough gangsters. And see where they went wrong, they thought that they think that black people follow celebrities and entertainers and athletes. See, what they didn't realize is that those type of people don't have no effect on our votes. We don't listen to them when it comes time to vote. But they didn't know that. The people Trump went after with the tennis shoes and all that, they don't vote anyway. The other thugs don't vote anyway. But that's just how dumb he is. He doesn't know that. See, Trump thinks about black people through negative, false stereotypes. And he operates on that, not knowing that it's not true. And the people he going after, that those type of people, don't vote anyway. If there is any like that, he went by the steer, and most of them do. I remember even Jimmy Carter did it. Do you remember? Well, many people may be too young, but when Russia had invaded Afghanistan, they were going to have the Olympics in Moscow, and the United States was putting up a boycott against the Olympics. Jimmy Carter sent people to the different nations. Japan sent diplomats there to negotiate, and he sent Muhammad Ali to talk to the Africans. They wouldn't receive Ali. They sent word back to the United States that even though we have great respect for Mr. Ali, if you want to do diplomacy with us, you send us your diplomats, not an athlete. They wanted the same respect that the European and Asian nations got. See, they think black people respond to athletes and entertainers and rappers, and but we don't. Not when it comes to business. With foolishness, yeah. Want to party and all that. Yeah, we put the boots on the ground and all that. But when it comes to business, like who we gonna vote for and all that, no. Black people don't listen to those people. Not because the ones who will listen to those people are not the ones who vote anyway. But we have to be very careful on how we do things. Very, very careful. I mean, we have to be extremely careful and watch out how we respond. Because I don't want to see black people out there in those protests and end up in Sudan. They're talking about sending homegrowns over. And you know who they have in mind when they say that. And when I see those protests, I listen to the people when they talk. And you know what they say? We're out here for all the disenfranchised people. And they say, we're out here for women, people of color, immigrants, the homosexuals, but no one mentioned black people. I haven't heard one yet mention black people. Out of all those marches, when those people talk, black people were never mentioned. And to make matters even worse, a black woman, I saw a black woman on television. She talked about all the disenfranchised people. You know what she said? Black women, people of color, the immigrants, and she mentioned the homosexuals. And who did she leave out? Black men. All she had to say was black people. Like black men do. We say black people, the black women separate themselves from us. Now when them heads start cracking, if you want to separate from us, stay separate. You don't want to be under our burden? Don't become our burden. When the time comes, don't think that when people come after you, you're going to become our burden. If you don't want to be our burden, you want to go to yourself, go. But don't come running. Don't come running back. But we're not having it. You're going to be with us, be with us. Stop separating yourself from us. We're not separating ourselves from you. Every time a black woman give a speech, she talk about black women and girls. Black man give a speech, he talk about black people. And if she have to make a mistake and mention black men, but especially black women and girls, tell you what, you want to go, go. But there's no coming back. Because when they get on you, you're going to be on your own. We don't want you to go. If you choose to, that's on you. But if you just about have already, black men and black women are like two different entities. And we don't have time to play with you. We'll get ourselves together and throw you and let you go to the wolves if necessary. Because we won't let you go. You'll be marching away yourself. We don't want you to go. You're taking yourself away from us. Say, we're the least protected. Well, whose burden are you under? What man's burden are you under? Are you under your father's burden? You're under the man. If you go and get with Pookie and he's slapping you upside your head, you're under that man's burden. Well, man, you get where you under his burden. You think you're gonna go get with white men be under that burden? They're gonna be the ones who you're gonna need a burden from if things go down. But if you leave us, that's it. So stay with us. Quit trying to clown us all the time. Stay with us. We gotta work together on this. It can't be no black men working on it and black women working on it. It's gonna take both of us. We want you to stay, but nobody gonna beg you to stay. We need to cut this foolishness out and deal with each other. We gotta think our way out of this together. We gotta start thinking. Like I said, we have a town hall meeting for everything else. We gotta have a town hall meeting about what's going on out here. None of our people, if you notice, our officials, they're not having anything talking to our people about this. They know they're coming after us sooner or later. We need some people to get some books because a lot of people don't know about this, believe it or not. There are a lot of black people going. See, black people have always had the courts and always depend on the people who are hurting us to save us. Oh, they're not going to let this happen, let that happen. But you don't know that this time. So we got to be ready to save ourselves. We have to. In any way necessary. And those who want to, when we try to get something done and they try to throw a wrench in it, we need to throw them to the wolves. Get them away from us. We don't have time to play and debate with folks about what's good and what's not. And I tell you, we need those who are going to help us. And so far, all through all black people's struggle, the Nation of Islam has never put boots on the ground. It's been through the churches and just through the people. When has the Nation of Islam ever put boots on the ground? I don't have nothing against the Nation of Islam, but I'm just telling you the way it is. Minister Farrakhan will come along and give a good speech later. Really, that's all Malcolm X did was give speeches. We need more than speeches. Now, I'm not talking against them, but I'm just telling the way it is now. I'm just telling the facts now. Get angry, you're angry with the facts. And I like hearing Farrakhan's speeches, but the truth is, the Nation of Islam has never been there physically for us. Yeah, I know I'm telling the truth. What have Malcolm X did besides give some speeches? They were telling me we should have taken Malcolm over King. Maybe they would have if he had came out and done something. King at least got out and did something. You think if King had just stayed in the churches giving speeches, he would have ever gotten anything done and had the following that he had? The reason I say that is this. Don't try to put down the people who are trying to do something. If you know a better strategy, talk to them about it. Yeah, talk to them about it. Let them know. And we could all talk it out. Have a strategy session. I notice in most churches I go to, when anything about Trump and what's going on is brought up, it's like the people just freeze. Like they don't really want to hear it. But when things go down, you're going to want to know about it then. I'm not thinking about Trump. Well, you better. You ain't got to worry about it, but you just can't discount it. I don't worry about it. I don't talk, I talk about this stuff because this platform I'm on the air. When I get off of here, I don't run around to everybody I talk to talking about this stuff. There's a time and a place for everything. Just like when you go to work, you don't go to home still talking about everything at work. but we don't have any time for it. Just be sitting around debating with MAGA folks. I don't have time for that. They're gonna do what they want to do, so let them do it. I have a couple of relatives in MAGA, you know. When we get together, I don't even talk about none of this with them. Why? It's not going to accomplish anything, just make us fall out with each other. So why would I talk this with them? And Trump not going to have be the cause of me falling out with any of my people. Because when things go down, they're going to see the light too. You see, Trump not just after people who voted Democratic, black people who voted Democratic. You're not going to check to see if you MAGA or you're a black MAGA. Oh, you're okay then. He wants you out there picking them apples too. You're not gonna get away with it. He gonna want you MAGA black folks picking apples too. And you better meet your quota. I don't know why people think they can vote against their people's interests and it's not gonna affect them. Do you see how people like Candace Owens trying to come back over to the black side? Now let us stay on over there where she was at. Criticizing Trump. Or even his girl, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is criticizing Trump now. Oh, yeah, he's going to keep us out of wars. And because if you call it a war or not, that's what it is. When you shooting missiles at me and I'm shooting them at you, we're bombing each other, that's a war. And the United States needs to stop because somebody with the capability start raining bombs over here. I'm not talking about nuclear. It's going to get the United States. You got this ocean protecting us. That's what protected Britain during World War II. Had it not been for the English Channel, Hitler would have taken Britain also. The United States saw that. They've been using this bottle of water. See it as a protection for us. That's the reason they bought Alaska, because it's so close to Russia. I think Russia is closer to to Alaska than Cuba is to the United States. Speaking of Cuba, I'm gonna say this before I go. Don't you know those Cubans have to feel really stupid? I'm gonna tell you something just to show you how racist people of color are, how they've been to us. See, people think when they mention people of color, when they're not white, that make them the ally. Those people are racist towards us also. What happened with the Cubans is that most Cubans are black. But do you see many black Cubans here? The Cubans have put that out, talking about the Haitians was eating cats and dogs. But when they get back to Cuba, maybe they'll be barbecuing up Fido when they get back to Cuba. So you have to feel very stupid by now. Most of the Latinos I hear who vote for Trump, and I hear them speak about why they voted for Trump, there's somebody else they were trying to hurt. Someone they wanted to hurt, those people over there. Cubans want to hurt the Haitians, hate the Mexicans. The Puerto Ricans want to hate the Mexicans. The Mexican, I don't know who they want to, but each one of them wanted to hurt someone. This one Latino guy said, I wanted to see the liberals cry. They deported his father, and he's next on the list. Now he's crying. One thing about black people, we never really vote against our own interests, not in numbers. See, like I said, you're going to always have some of your people do something. So let's not even worry about those few. Like I said, we don't have to be perfect. Like we're supposed to be inferior, but everyone expects us to perform with perfection. Sounds more like you don't think we're inferior. You just don't want a giant to wake up. That's what it seems more like to me. You're trying to keep this giant from waking up and trying to make them think they're inferior. Because why do you expect perfection from us? We can't do nothing wrong. If we do, all of us are just no good, even though you do the same thing. You don't put down people who you think are inferior because they're supposed to be inferior. You speak against people who you know have something going for themselves and you don't want them to know it. Like I said, you don't want that giant to wake up. Beginning to yawn a little bit, and you know it. See, before I close, I'm going to say this. You see, the United States is an empire in decline. You can tell when an empire is in decline, they try to hang on for a while longer by enlarging their territory, taking someone's land. Like Europe, they would have been gone a long time ago. They'd be a third world nation had they not went into Africa and got their resources and built up their wealth and their infrastructure, their whole nation off of Africa's resources. Why the Africans was that stupid to let them come in and do that, I don't know. Usually, anywhere you go in the United States, did the same thing. Like when Europe was reconstructed in World War II, they say it was built under the Marshall Plan. The United States spent the money. Africa put more money into building Europe than the United States did. But Africa wasn't built. They put these leaders in place, make them a millionaire and billionaire while they come in and get whatever they want to, and the people suffer. But yet, you notice they never worried about democracy in Africa or the Middle East, what they call the Middle East. They was only concerned about democracy in European and Latin nations because they wanted because they put their man in place so they can get what they want. While the United States, like I said earlier, while they was fighting for democracy everywhere else, they toppled democracy. They toppled the democracy in Iran and put in the Shah as a dictator. But the people ran him out. They took the democratic leader and put him in jail for the rest of his life of Iran. That's why Iran hates the United States. I heard many of the black hosts saying to Iran don't need nuclear weapons, they are a terrorist nation. But to many people, the United States, Israel, a terrorist nation. It's awful strange. The nations who keep saying another nation is a terrorist nation are the nations who's doing all the bombing around the world. How are you going to tell someone else what they can have in their land? I can have nuclear weapons, but you can't. Oh, you're a terrorist to us. Israel has nuclear weapons. They helped South Africa to develop theirs when South Africa was white. But when it came black, they took the nuclear weapons out. That weak back Nelson Mandela, that little wimp had to tell them, had to give up the nuclear weapons in order for him to become president. He was so much of a wimp that even Winnie was tired of him. She said he was too weak. When it came to his people, he was weak. How can you I know I'm getting off subject. I gotta say this. Okay, like with Nelson Mandela, he could have got out of prison 27 years earlier than he did. All he had to do was say he denounced violence as a way for liberation. That's all he had to do. We could have said it and got out and did what we wanted to do anyway. But you know what he did? He stayed in prison 27 years. 27 years later, he denounces violence as a way to help liberate his people. That is a fool. He could have done that 27 years earlier, 25 years earlier. You're going to spend 27 years in prison and still get out and do what they want you to do in the first place? And this is the man that they heard is such a great leader, a great man, because he spent 27 unnecessary years in prison. 27 unnecessary years in prison and came out in the end did the very thing they wanted him to do in the first place. But they say he's a smart man. But still, getting back to what I was speaking on, that the reason I mentioned about the bodies of water being a protector, that's why the United States started NATO. They want to keep the fighting over there. And NATO helps guarantee the Caucasian military superiority so they can keep rule over the earth. They're in decline. That's why the United States want Canada, want Greenland, wants to take other people's territory and their natural resources. That's what failing empires does. That's what the European empires did to Africa. Back at this time, they were failing. And then they held on a little while longer by using the riches of Africa. And the Africans let them do it. So that's how they held on a while longer. But now they're in decline again. Russia is in decline right now. That's why they felt a need to take Ukraine. Anytime you see a nation start trying to invade other nations, take their land and their resources, there's something wrong that they see. And they're trying to prop themselves up. Well, I'm not going to hold you long tonight. Well, I did hold you long. I'm going to get ready to go. But I just wanted to say that let's not fall for God. I think they want us to pick those apples, strawberries and all that. They want to get us out there. Take away our good jobs, but we're suffering. See, we're supposed to be suffering right now. We shouldn't have anything hardly phase us. But they don't know that. Now they're finding out now. They may be finding out because Trump's trying to get the Latinos back on the farms. Only because of those farmers, or because he see we're not suffering like he thought. We haven't picked one apple yet. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here. But thank you for tuning in. I didn't put my Cash App up or my PayPal. Because I just want to get that out there tonight for us to be vigilant and be careful. Because they're trying to provoke us. Speaking on that, I did see about a month ago a rally in Philadelphia. And there was just about 8 black people there in the whole rally. It was a big rally. But then they arrested some people, and guess who they arrested? You know it. Don't y'all get involved in that. But if you want to, there's nothing I can do. You grown folks, I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you this. If you end up in Sudan or me come to about, help come get me. You made your choice. You've been told and you've been warned. They haven't taken the gloves off for us yet. But they will. If we keep on like we're going, we should be in good shape. Like I said, unless someone come after you physically, you got to deal with that. So I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. And if a person is a cop, you show your face. You know the experience that black people have had with people in hoods and masks. So don't come up in here with that foolishness. If you law enforcement, you take that mask off. We don't know who you could be. Don't bring that up in here. You wear a mask around here, you might be 10 toes up with your badge on. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Some people gonna take that wrong. Oh, yes, I should. That's just the way it is. We don't have time to play with these people trying to make things sound all sweet and nice. I'm not on no network TV where they can counsel me or revoke anything of mine. I say whatever I want to. Don't come up here with that mask stuff. I'm Mark Van with a mask. You know the history we've had of white men in masks. They're gonna ask what those black people in Cincinnati. They did the same. The one when the hooded people came in there, they got their bulletproof vest stuff on and their guns marching their children to school. The white TV host gonna ask her why you wearing masks. They don't ever ask the Klansmen why they're wearing masks. They don't ask ICE why they're wearing masks. They don't ask the Nazis why they're wearing masks. They're gonna ask a black woman why she got a mask on with her guns. See the black men and women. No, that's Lincoln Heights in Ohio, where they tried to come and march there, but they shut that down. Now they wearing their stuff. I'm gonna ask that woman why she got a mask on. She tried to explain it to me. You don't explain. We need to quit thinking we gotta explain everything to people. They don't explain nothing to us. They do it. We say something about it, and they just don't have nothing to say. Wait till one of ours come along and plead their case for them. Don't explain nothing to them. Instead of ask her why they gotta wear the mask, why they have to arm up. You don't ever ask them that. Do you ever ask them why there had to be DEI? Do you ask them why there had to be affirmative action? And black people didn't start that. We didn't have the authority or power to start that. Ask why they had to have those programs. It's not like it started just for the fun of it. Why did they have to start it? Like I say, why do people have to walk around with guns and a mask on? Ask them about that. See, that's what that black woman should have told them. Or if they had interviewed a black man or any of them out there. Do you ask the Klansmen why they got masks on? Do you ask the ICE? Or do you ask the Proud Boys, the neo-Nazis, why they got masks on? Because all those groups wear masks. But they're going to come and ask the black group why they got a mask on? Y'all need to stop trying to explain everything to these people and have something to throw back. Learn the facts so you can throw some facts back at them and shut them up. We don't have to explain nothing to nobody. They need to do some explaining to us, not the other way around. So with that, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. But look, don't y'all to get out there be talking about picking no apples and oranges and all that. That's not for us. Let them do that. I would like for you all to start liking and sharing this so you can get out more. Even on Facebook, you can even send stars on Facebook. But on YouTube, start liking and sharing this also. Because that increases the algorithm and it gets out to more people when you do that. So don't just look at it and let that be it. Try to share it and help me out. Share it out and share it. And even if you don't send in any money, share it and subscribe to my channel on City of Champions on Facebook. No, City of Champions on YouTube. City of Champions Media on YouTube. Excuse me. You're watching on ESL 89 Blocks Media on Facebook. I also have a City of Champions Television on Facebook. And a No More Water Fire next time on Facebook. I can tell when time to go. Don't get a little dry. Excuse me. But on the now I do have those channels on Facebook, but I broadcast on this because it has more members than the other channels have. But you can also go to YouTube, and I'll be on Roku soon. around the end, the first part of next month, I have City of Champions, uh, City of Champions television on Roku, so you'll be able to watch on Fire Stick and Direct TV and Apple TV and all those different televisions. Any of those television networks, even cable. You can watch. I think you can watch Roku on cable. I have a cable station, but I haven't been operating it because it's been people just don't really watch cable anymore. But look, so please do that for me. Share it, and help me out with this. You share these other people stuff. Share mine. You subscribe to theirs, subscribe to mine. You hit like on theirs, hit like on mine. It helps. See, people don't say share and like for no reason. It helps with YouTube, Facebook. They put you out there more when people like or share your program. That's why you see the white people have 5 million people. The black people can't get that many because the black people we're not liking and sharing each other's stuff. We're liking sharing theirs. Like I said, we gotta start doing for our own because we're gonna get to a time, a place where that's all we're gonna have. We're gonna be all we got. Like I said, if you don't see ICE at an Arab market, then they don't have any other reason being here. So with that, I'm gonna let this go. But next time I'm working on a guest. Next time I come on, I'm gonna have a guest. I won't be at my desk. I'll be at my other studio area. I got 3 studio areas in here now. I got my other desk that you see me broadcasting from the small desk. This is actually my office desk. Sometimes I like to do it from here because I'm more comfortable. And I have an area where when I have multiple guests, and I put new flooring and different stuff down over there. I went all the way through, really. I really got the place fixed up nice. And I even have room for studio, can make room for a studio audience for about 20 people if necessary. And I may do that one day because I'm talking about having a meeting about strategy. I need to invite some people. We have it here. Have an audience and we can just broadcast it to the rest of you. Because we need to do something. We just can't sit around and twiddle our thumbs and hope that everything falls in place. We can pray. Or we can work, pray and work. Faith, as you know, faith without works is dead. When we pray, God works through us. He sets things in motion with us involved. So pray and act. And right now, our acting is to chill until we apply the strategy for when things does come our way. And we need to do that soon. I may just go ahead and do that myself and invite many different people and put my chairs up, have a program here, panel, and broadcast it to the rest of it. Yeah, and have about, I may be able to squeeze 30 in that studio audience, not a little more. But I'm going to do that because we need to do something. I'm not saying I got the answers. That's why I say we have a panel. Because I don't have the answers. I have some rational thoughts. But I don't have all the answers. So I have to hear from other people to see how. See, a lot of times you can see how rational you are until you're with other people. We can make ourselves rational all the time. But then you listen to other people. Because you can't think of it all. And I can't think of it all. We have to put our minds together. Not to come here and argue and bicker and debate, but to come up with some solutions. Because we don't have time for those kind of people. We're about doing some work right now. We've been chilling. Now we got to do some work and plan out a strategy. And I don't want no MAGA folks coming in here with that mess. Because we're about strategy now. Not arguing with you. Because you're going to believe how you want to believe. So go on around your people. And when it comes time to pick them apples, you get on out there. Because we don't have time for you around us anymore. Don't want to be mad or go on about your business. We don't have time for it. With that, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to bid you a good night, and be sure to watch me next time. I was going to try to stream on See the Champions TV, but I was having trouble getting to it. See the Champions TV on Facebook. But with this program I have, I can only stream 2 right now. I'm going to maybe upgrade and maybe stream to more because I'm going to be streaming to Twitter. Not Twitter. I wouldn't waste my time on Twitter. I'm going to be streaming to Instagram and Roku also. And I'm going to be able to stream to more sites than just 2 with that. So I'm going to say a good night. You may be able to hear that noise, man. My air conditioner not working too good. And turn the fan on. Working fine until yesterday. But look, stay with me, and I want you to keep tuning in. And take care, and I'll be with you next time. So I'm Larry Duncan Allen. Thank you for tuning in. No more water. 5 next time.